Hi, good evening again, and welcome to, I think, well-anticipated Data Jazzers episode. Happy New Year to everybody, and we are glad to welcome you back today. I think we'll have a really interesting conversation and guest who everybody was anticipating, talking about a lot of new cool things. So, Miguel, hi, welcome, and nice to have you with us.
Hello, nice to having me. Nice for having me.
Thanks from my side also. Hi everyone and happy holidays. Huge thanks to Miguel for joining us. We know that a lot of exciting features are coming, and we are happy that Miguel is today with us, and that basically all of you, hopefully you prepare some interesting questions for our guest, and we will have like informal chat like always with our guests. So maybe it's time to kick off. Augustine, should I start first? Just to break the ice.
Why not?
Yeah. Okay, Miguel, we saw on social media in some posts that you collected and gathered an interesting team of visualization experts from the Power BI community, which is, I think, interesting approach. And the question is this the first time doing it? So to gathering Power BI community voice, and what's the plan when it comes to visualization stuff in Power BI?
Well, Nicola, yes, I decided to start having more engagements with the community. We actually do that all the time because we have the ideas website where we collect a lot of good ideas from the community, things that they need, and PMs in the past, and they keep doing that. They go there, review what people vote more, and then they work on those enhancements. However, the difference now is that these 12 community representatives are going to look at the feature even before design or engineer takes it. So the role as product manager is to put a document that specifies really clearly every single area of that feature. If we're going to make changes to the canvas or any visualization, we go and as product manager, I need to make sure that everything is sorted in a way that everybody can understand it, especially designers and engineers. Usually what happened is that we do that work, we pass it to designers, they come up with a good approach. When we are happy, we give that to engineers, they code it, and then we engage MVPs and other customers or the community, so then they can try it out. If they don't like it, sometimes we find it hard to go back and do the job again. So we have to launch it anyways, and we hope that in the future we will improve those areas that maybe the MVPs are telling us are not that strong. This is different now because they have access to everything before even go to design. They can see the approaches that I'm taking, and they can decide if that makes sense. The order, the approach, the settings that I'm setting up. If they don't like it, they have the power to say, change it in this way, or maybe make this one a high priority and do those other items later. That's the first time. And that's why these community representatives will represent all the wishes from the community based on their experience in different areas, design, the fact that some of them are visualization developers, and some of them are UI UX experts. Some of them have a large amount of customers that they work with every single day, so they understand business requirements pretty well. And we have different backgrounds to give us good recommendations once we are putting together these documents. They will be able to test everything before anyone else and see if that works. They will see even design mockups to verify that the feature is designed properly. And I believe you're gonna see a huge difference now that we're gonna launch these features, because there is like a guarantee that you're gonna get what you're expecting.
Okay,
Even if it's not getting a good traction, you can blame them as well.
Yeah, that's the other strategy.
So it's
No,
not just
but
from
I
a high
think
level perspective of the future, but it goes into the details and certain implementation.
yeah, that's correct. Something else that I'm doing is in every feature, I'm putting the whole goal. Like maybe if we talk about the container, the container that we use for every visualization, bookmark, slicer, everything has a container, even text boxes. If we want to make changes to the container to improve it, in the spec, I will come up with the future, like really in the next 3 years, where exactly we want to go with that container. So then in the first session, in the first stage, we understand that those buckets make sense as foundation for what is coming. And that's as well something completely new. Usually product managers, they focus on a feature entirely, and later on they have a progressive change. But now I'm just making sure that we have a clear vision of where we are going and how are we going to solve the problems that we want to do first, or that we have to solve first.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
So looking at the questions, so our audience is also starting with the questions. The first one is interesting from Eric. How do you see future for Deneb and Charticulator?
Deneb is a visualization developed by Daniel Marsh-Patrick, and he's one of our community representatives. The idea, and he's aware of this, is to make sure that our data visualizations in Power BI can be even more flexible than the amazing work that he put together with the Deneb visuals. He's helping us to make sure that that's a reality. So how do I see that? Well, we're going to be in the same level of capacity, making a lot of customization that we haven't experienced before. What happened with Charticulator? As far as I know, that's a visualization that we're not going to support anymore. But I'm going to make sure that whatever we do, it needs to be as powerful as Charticulator. Right now, my priority is to have a really strong foundation to make sure that we are capable to do those amazing transformations in our visualizations in the future. But Charticulator is not going to be upgraded anymore. And the Deneb visual is something that Daniel owns, and he will progress there.
Sounds good. So pretty much, I think a lot of new and interesting information is coming in. But just moving one step back, so what's your Power BI journey? So from early days, how did you ended up as a program manager now for a visual part of Power BI?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, I was when I was hired, my role was just to be to review partner showcases. In the Power BI website, we have a section that is called partner showcases, where partners showcases their best reports, so then people can see, all right, this partner is really good with sales reports or human resources reports, and they are actually showcasing some examples. Back then, we had problems that people were submitting everything, and we didn't have any quality control there. So I was hired as a vendor, not as a full-time employee, to review report by report and then suggest a better design. And I did that for maybe a year. And then Mark Reguera, who is the leader of the Power BI customer advisory team, asked me if I wanted, if I was interested to join to be part of his team and be focusing entirely on report design and data visualizations. And for 4 years, more than 4 years, I was working in that team with the CAT team, to just focusing on those two areas that I just mentioned. In May of 2022, I was offered to explore the idea of jumping to another team and now be part of the product team. And I decided to join them in November. So I'm brand new as a product manager, but that's my journey in Microsoft.
Yeah, interesting journey, interesting start. I think we didn't have a guest with similar story, like reviewing customer stories and then jumping into teams. So good one, yeah, good one. For example, in your opinion, if someone wants to improve Power BI data visualization skills, what are the best resources to start, except these learning paths that you created, designing effective reports on Microsoft Learn official website? What are some other resources that you find, let's say, inspirational or good for someone who wants to improve data visualization skills? Asking for a friend.
All right. Well, number one is data visualization. You need to understand the basic of data visualizations. Sometimes I ask people if you know the type of analysis that every visualization is capable of. We have comparison, we have distribution, we have multiple type of analysis, and every visualization is good to certain analysis. You need to know good practices, how to use labels, axes, grid lines, all those basic stuff, and then from there you need to understand some of the business requirements. You have to have good communication skills to pass information of the technologies that are available, and to understand, to be a good listener and understand what the company needs, and combining these two, your knowledge with the tool and your knowledge with the stakeholders of the company, combine them into a solution that makes sense for that type of people. That's the second one. Whatever content you can find about how to communicate and how to listen and how to gather these requirements is critical to be a good report designer. So the other one is always keep yourself updated with what is new in Power BI. Power BI grows so fast. We have new capabilities all the time. And now that I'm going to work on the data visualization side, you're going to see a lot of improvements in the visualization. And if you stay using the same capabilities in the way that we had it a year ago, 2 years ago, you're going to miss a lot of amazing capabilities. So keep yourself updated, check what is new every month, and practice. See how that works, find alternatives or ways that you can even hack that feature to nail other type of views. That's really important. The other one that I will say is psychology. This is something I didn't know, but now I am understanding even better. If you're really good understanding human cognition principles, any report that you do, any visualization that you apply will be really strong if you follow the basics of how humans understand information, how we get information from visual or abstract content. And there are very basic principles like how to make things similar or how to create continuous lines, so then we can connect that this belongs to a certain group and that belongs to another group. Highlighting, there are many good techniques, but understanding how the human brain works in data visualization is a way to go, is one of the best recommendations. And there's a lot of content about human cognitions. One of my favorite is the Gestalt laws. Find that and you're gonna find yourself into a new world of possibilities of how to improve as a report designer.
Okay, can you repeat just one more time?
The Gestalt laws.
Okay. Just okay. Yeah, I heard. Thank you.
And so we as a user, so both Nicola and myself are using Power BI since early days. And we know that visual part of Power BI was pretty much untouched except some settings from day one. But how do you see now, what's the future? So how do you see and how does Microsoft see the future of visual part of Power BI?
Well, the future is bright. A lot of talented people from different areas of Power BI are doing a lot of features and experiences that is going to change the game here. It's not just data visualization. all I can say is that in the next 2-3 years, we're going to see a very mature tool that right now it's moving into that direction. We have good people with good vision in multiple areas, and we are adopting new methodologies. So I think that is giving a lot of good synergy on how we're moving. Now, with this approach that I'm taking with the community, if it's really well received and it has a lot of, and I can show that has a lot of potential, this can scale to another teams in other areas of the product. So that can as well add a lot of value on how we develop features in the future. So it's bright.
You said 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 months?
No, no, 2-3 years. I think if we have this conversation in 3 years, we will be able to compare now where we are and the things that we offer, and we're gonna see huge difference in our conversation. But right now it's really hard because there is a lot of information that I cannot tell, and I'm still working with the community to make sure that my ideas can be even refined. And I can see that in the latest project that I involved them. I never thought about certain aspects of that feature, and they gave me that to make it even richer than what I actually imagined. So even if I try to give you some hints, it's hard to tell because it can go beyond my own expectation or imagination.
Okay,
And
so
when you are now talking about improving things, just asking one question for your colleague, actually. What do you plan to do with pie charts?
A lot of good stuff. I know that is hated. Nobody likes pie charts, but I think one way to say that we are going to do well is if I am capable to make you love pie charts. And the features that I'm going to include for pie charts and some of behaviors that you're going to see there are going to make it really interesting for you to explore them and maybe change your mind. So I'm going to try to make you love the most hated visualization.
I'm waiting for Jay to say it somewhere out loud.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So can you briefly explain this process of collecting the feedback of this interaction with community, how it goes? Do you have some like official questionnaires, surveys or stuff like that, or is it just one-on-one conversation with those people from community? If you can just describe this process briefly for others to understand.
Yeah, so we have a list of ideas and comments in social media, people posting of challenges that they face every day. We have collected them and we work with the engineers to see, all right, based on our infrastructure, what makes sense to do first. And we'll take that. And after considering what is more like faster, easier, and that will represent a lot of impact across the whole product, we will take that bucket. I will design a document, like I said, with a lot of information there, specifying the problems that we want to solve, how we're going to do it, and all the components that are critical to make that fix. I will pass that information to the representatives. They will have a week or 2 weeks to review in detail that document, and they will give me feedback. They can actually interact with each other in the document by using comments in Word. Word allows you to have comments beside each of the paragraphs that you have in the document, and they can see those comments. They can see their own suggestions, and then they can talk about it. According to their suggestions, I will make changes in that document until the document is strong enough that these 12 stakeholders or community representatives think that it covers everything to solve the problem. If that's the case, I will create a meeting where we call it like the kickoff meeting for spec review. That's the blessing thing to move it into production. And all PMs across multiple areas in Power BI will review it and will say, this is good to go. And finally, I will have resources from the design and engineer to work on it. But I won't do it until that community is 100% sure that this covers or solves the problem. That's how they work. The other thing that they will do is if they see something that is high priority, maybe I'm putting in stage 1 and other features I'm putting them until stage 2 for later on. And later on means it can take 6, 5, 3 months, a year to continue that project. If they think that some of those items in the stage 2 are really important and they should not be compromised, I will put them in stage 1 and I will make sure that it's done before it was expected. So they have that power.
Just to make sure that I understood correctly, so all these 12 people from community need to agree on the certain feature. So 100% agreement on something, not like
100%, the big majority. So
Okay,
they have to be the big majority. Something else that they have the power is they can come up with a new idea that it was not even part of the spec, and they can vote and say, change this approach and do the way that we are suggesting. And they can vote on those suggestions, and if it grants a big majority, then I will change that document. That document has a lot of weight because that's how we connect the problem with an action or solutions that we are developing.
Nice, good to know.
And when community can expect first outcomes? So hopefully not the first ones after 2 to 3 years, maybe a bit sooner.
Yeah, the first one is the visual container, and I believe that one is going to be launched in March or the end of March. I will have more communication with the community, so you will know surveys, what is coming, and deadlines, roadmap, more in social media, and I'm going to have a community site where I'm just going to put posts in there giving more like clarity of what we're doing right now and what we will do in the next 6 months. So once I have a really good deadline for the container, I will let you know. But what I can tell you is that you're going to see in the next 6 months improvements in the visual container, in the card visual, edit interactions is going to be changed, labels, and conditional formatting. So those are things that are coming like really soon.
Okay, nice. In your opinion, what is the current area of Power BI that you see as the most problematic, or let's call it challenging? Something probably related to data visualization. So, in your opinion,
in the data visualization side, you mean?
Data visualization or generally in Power BI.
Okay, well, I'm going to focus on my area. I think the most problematic is conditional formatting. There is a lot of potential there, and what we want is to allow the users to use conditional formatting everywhere. Imagine that you can say, if parameter 1 is set up in my conditional formatting, I want the text to be white, I want the text to be bold, I want to be left aligned. Like, they can add more than just color or text. All the formatting options that you see there should be managed by conditional formatting as well to make it everything that dynamic entirely. For us to move into that path, which I think is the way to go, I need to think of even maybe redesigning the whole experience of the conditional formatting, like UI.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the product is growing so quickly. We have so many formatting options that to me is a challenge to see how can I put all these into one single experience and then allow users to manage them without being confused and make it so complex that they won't even like to explore how they can actually apply it. So it's a very complex solution that requires a very simple approach. That's the toughest to me.
So conditional formatting, okay, yeah. Okay.
And with conditional formatting, even basically from my point of view, all formatting is currently so distributed around that sometimes it's when you come to the same report after 2 weeks, you forgot where some setting is. Or even worse, if you update it in the meantime to a new version of Power BI, could be somewhere else. Hope that will be one of the points.
That's going to be changing a work that is coming. It's going to be so much easier for you to just click on something and see the formatting option. So that's a problem solved soon. The other part that is really problematic for me is metrics. Metrics and tables, to me, should be only one single visual. That is, maybe we can call it tabular visual. And it should allow users to have so much flexibility that they can even create financial tables in the same metrics. They can change stuff. I want a powerful matrix that can collapse and expand columns, that you can sort. Even when you have hierarchy columns, you can sort them according to different levels and much more. But the table or the metrics is so complex, and the technology that we have right now to support it is a little bit rigid, that I need to think that we might have to change certain infrastructure to allow the metrics to be powerful enough. And I'm still trying to, I have an idea of where we're going to go, but technically and using design principles, I think this is going to take a lot of time to nail it properly.
And when we are mentioning all of those, can we expect as well conditional formatting on calculation groups?
I hope so, yes. We can expect that. It's part of the conditional formatting stuff. So yeah, conditional formatting, it's a bucket on its own. And it's not just on labels or the styles that we want to apply. It has more areas that we need to think about it. That's why I said conditional formatting to me is the toughest, because it touches everywhere. And we want to support things like what you said.
Okay, cool. We have some questions from the audience, so I suggest maybe we can start to tackle some of them. First, from Kashif, can we get export to Excel action from a button instead of clicking on the options of matrix or table?
Actions like export and stuff like that is something that is coming really later. What we want to fix first is the action itself. So actions right now require a lot of enhancements, and we need to fix some even books that we have in there. And then once that's really strong and has a good foundation, we'll go and add export to Excel. Like even you can use actions to open what's this feature? The one that opens up the whole visualization and shows you only one visual display visual, I believe. So we have a lot of features that you need to trigger, and we want to allow the actions to find them all. You can setting up and then trigger them, not only by using the icon that is already in each container, but you can set up by using actions. So that what you're saying here in this text and more is what we want to do for action.
Okay, nice.
We
have a few more, so this one will be a quick one. Do you have any plans for more fonts available?
Yes. There is a work in there that I need to collaborate with other teams to at least support all the fonts that Office is offering right now by default. So that's the step number one. We should support that. And then after that, the next milestone is to allow users to import their own font. And then anyone, even if they don't have the font installed in their computer, they should be able to see that font. So yeah, there is a work already in progress into that area. And I'm craving to have it because I'm tired of using the same fonts over and over again.
Same here. Same here. Okay, we have also interesting question from Matthias. When will developers and ISVs be able to create and modify visualizations via APIs? Is that something that you're planning or?
Yeah, that's a huge one. I think what we want to do is first open up all these capabilities in every visualization, and then when we have a very mature tool that allows us to open up another section in the formatting pane where you can actually code into the visualization itself, the API, wherever, then developers can take that visualization even further. Right now, this is not going to happen in the short term. We need to work on the foundation, and we know that we are missing so many capabilities that it will be quite challenging to open this type of capability when the visual don't support enough. So once we are doing what you're asking, if we can do that, at least you're going to find a very robust code that you can modify as you please.
Okay, thanks.
I like this. So all the questions, his answer is yes, just depends when. So we still didn't find one that it will not be there. So let's try with the next one. So what can we expect from you bookmarks experience?
Yeah, bookmarks, for example, one of the challenges I need to solve is when you have a button and you select a bookmark, and then there's another button that has a bookmark, and then you select that one. It's not clear which bookmark is setting up each button. So that it's quite difficult to understand that, or sometimes there are overlappings between bookmarks. So bookmarks are really straightforward and they are not that flexible, and then they don't collaborate with each other. I need to find a way to create interactions between them, communications, and how they display buttons that are selected. So what is that new bookmark experience? I think is a experience that solves that problem and then will allow better customization without guessing, because if you know, in the bookmark section we have the different options of how you want to set up that bookmark. And if you unselect the first one and select the second one, but unselect the third one, then you have certain behavior. And depending those check marks, you will have different behaviors, and it's really hard to see how they work. You have to memorize it. So we want to make it even simpler, to indicate exactly what they do and to have presets already defined. So then you can just click there and set up your parameters faster than ever. Bookmarks went through a lot of transformation, and we have a really good sustainable infrastructure there. We just need to figure out how they will interact. So interactivity on bookmarks is the next step.
Yeah, my 2 cents regarding bookmarks. When you mentioned that you will make this process more streamlined, so I always forget if I uncheck data, if that will reset all the others or not. It would be helpful just hover over this option just to have like a tooltip. If you check this, yeah, with all the explanation, yeah. So good one. I will look forward to it. Okay, this one is also good, I would say, from KNP BI. He plans to allow report consumers the ability to switch teams in report.
Yes, that's a big yes. And that experience should be not only available for report authors, it should be available for report consumers as well. And this is going to work really well for accessibility. When somebody wants to have a full accessible report, they can just go trigger the accessible theme, and then they can see the same report with more accessible features included. That's a goal that we want to do this year. So that's a big yes, and we are thinking to make it this, or to expose this option for all type of users.
Okay, just one extension on this answer, on your answer. When you said that someone can, for example, report consumer in Power BI service, I suppose they will click and see accessible, more accessible report theme. Is it something that needs to be provided by report author, or is it something that you will provide out of the box? So when I click somewhere,
we will provide a accessible theme that passes most of the requirements that need to be passed. However, the author should be able to create their own theme and expose that to the consumer. If they want to have a light and dark theme, and maybe some users prefer the dark theme, they can just select that theme and change it. So we will provide better themes as well. That's another of my tasks, to go over the list that we have. I don't like them so much. They look really, they have a lot of potential to be improved. And I'm just gonna go and make sure that every theme looks different. So then when a author is assigning themes for the consumer to switch, we can give them a good variety of styles.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
And basically, while we are waiting for more questions to come in, we have one which is our, I would say, trademark question. So we ask each and every our guest, even we have a video out compiling those answers. What are the three most important concepts to grasp in Power BI? One for beginners, one for intermediate, and one for advanced users, from your point of view.
What do you mean? Type of knowledge or
Type of knowledge, and also pretty much type of usage knowledge in general. How would you start if you are starting in Power BI, or if you are advising a beginner, intermediate user, and advanced user?
Yeah, for the beginner, I'll say work with the tool intensively, understand the tool really well. Then for intermediate is work on what I said, design principles, data visualization, human cognition, and for the advanced, work on the communications, like work with the stakeholders, gathering information, working with data scientists or the technicians that are going to work in the data side, or like try to be the one that puts them all together into certain idea. That's the toughest. You can have all the skills with the tool, but if you're not good collecting what is necessary, you'll fail and the whole product will go down. That's how I will break it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Okay, switching now from not strictly from Power BI to you, but if you can share with us what's your current focus. I mean, if you can describe how your usual day, week, or month looks like, and what's your motivation to what's pushing you forward every day.
All right. Okay, so my daily days starts with Power BI. I'll always check what is in the social media, see what people are saying, complaints. I collect all those comments in my database. Then I check my daily pending items that I need to finish. If I need to make refreshes to my documents or replying emails, etc., all the stuff. And then the other part that I do is meetings. Being a product manager is involving so many meetings, to be part of listening other people's features, because just like I need to launch some of these features and other product managers have to be part of the meeting and review it, I have to do the same. I have to be present in those meetings and help other product managers to be good in what they are doing. Work with designers as well. I like to work with them, see what they are doing. I love design, actually. It's one of my passions. That's basically what motivates me. Before I even start working at Microsoft, my job was just cleaning offices, houses. I was working legally in USA, so even cleaning bathrooms, and I was always sad the fact that I had this talent with data visualizations and design, but I never had the opportunity. I didn't see anything there to help me to succeed. It was not until Power BI came, when it was just born, and I found that opportunity. So part of my daily motivation is to make sure that I am part of a product that can help somebody else in my position that right now maybe is in the same finding hard to be happy with what they like to do, which is data visualization. So by me being in this role is thinking about them as well and remembering where I was and making a more efficient tool, more like user-friendlier, more powerful in many ways. When that person picks up, will be so much easier and faster to expose their talent than go through a lot of pain and then feeling not motivated to continue this path. That's how I see it. People don't see it in their way, but whoever that decide in in whatever meeting was that Power BI will exist. In that meeting, somebody said, "Let's design Power BI. Let's do this." That person didn't know, or they don't know, but they saved my life of being living in the darkness. Like that's how I see it. It is my motivation.
That's amazing.
Really good to hear, because just coming out from end of last year, where Nicola, myself, and a few other people did a community boot camp to enable people starting into Power BI to learn what is it to find jobs afterwards. So, and hearing your story as well, so giving me even better feeling that maybe there are a lot of people that some of us could help getting the same on the same track.
Yeah, yes, and that's a fact. I was there, and it was because of the community. When Power BI launched the first competition for report design, the very first, I submitted my design, and that I was not even part of the top 10. It was the community in the Madison group. I was living in Madison, Wisconsin back then, and the community, they were really shocked. So they approached this Microsoft and asked them, why you never choose this guy? His submission was really good, and the marketing team saw that, and they apologized, and they saw the mistake. But I will never do it. It was the community in that group that helped me to expose myself, and from there, everywhere I'm succeeding is because of many people that is behind me. Managers that are always suggesting or helping me with my growth, and all the features that the other PMs have done in the tool. An example that I can give you is the Gartner report that we designed. It was one of the most beautiful ones, but I cannot take the credit because without all the amazing work that these PMs did to the tool, I will never have the way to design such thing. So I am where I am because everybody else effort, and I need to contribute the same way, because people will succeed if we do a good job. That's how I see it.
Yeah, 100% agree. We have another question from KMP. When will we see the first significant improvements released regarding visualization, significant from your perspective?
All improvements you're gonna see are gonna be significant, and the reason is because, like I said, they are gonna be connected now. If we make a change in labels for text, we will find every visualization across all the tools to make sure that it's paired in the same way. So it's not going to be a feature that is disconnected and inconsistent through all the other tools. We're going to make those connections, and we're going to make sure that they scale really well. So then you're going to find, if we're going to make, for example, one of the improvements that we're going to do is with the card, you're going to be able to left align text, right align, center, and all the stuff. I'm going to make sure that whatever label we're doing here with this capability of alignment needs to be supported to all other labels, all other areas. So then there is no areas where you can do it and other areas where you cannot. So everything is going to be significant. Little by little, you're going to see a progressive change that it will take us to where we want to go, or where we're going to be.
Okay, when?
And when, as I said, the first one is going to be the container, and then we're going to do the card visual. The card visual has the capability to have one single container will carry cards. Right now, what happens is we have one card, and then if you want to have another card, then you place another card. And if you want to have a scorecard page, you end up with 20, 30, 40 cards that is quite unsustainable to keep up with good performance.
Slow.
So we're gonna use the same technology that navigation buttons give us, which is in one container you can have multiple buttons. So we're gonna do that for cards. And that capability, once it's refined, we will scale it to other visualizations. So the possibilities are gonna continue grow and grow and grow. So when every capability we launch will have that potential. Starting with the container, starting with the card visual, and then continue with labels. So I think it is not more than when, because the answer will be as soon as you see this work, which is, I believe, one of the things that we think is by March, you'll see some of the features that I own. But there are other features that we want to do in between that I need to check it out, work with the community, and make sure that they scale. So it's just a matter of time.
I think, Nicola, with the card visual, you will lose some of the tips and tricks from your presentation sessions.
I wanted to ask Miguel, but I'm not sure if it's a question for him. When he mentioned containers, if you put like 5 card visuals in one container, does that mean that it will generate one DEX query for all 5 card visuals?
That's correct. It will improve performance. We need to know exactly how much performance, but because it's one single visual, it will be way faster. There are some limitations that we have that we need to think about it. But I mean, just having one container to carry all those cards is a big win.
Sure.
And no worries, I am aware of every single angle and risk about this work. And I'm making sure with the other community members or representatives to make sure that we don't forget anything. So I think you're going to be really happy of what the developers and these designers are going to give us.
One question coming from audience as well. So it's more of a legacy. Why conditional format options are currently so inconsistent?
Inconsistency is something that it's easy to find in Power BI in the data visualization side. And the reason is because PMs usually focus on one feature only, make sure that it solves the problem properly, and that's it. But they haven't connect all the dots. If they make that change or improvement, how that's going to affect other areas across other visualizations or features that can be implicit into that particular change or improvement. That's why you have seen inconsistencies. The new approach or the way that we're trying to fix this is, number one, to have a clear inventory or connections between every feature in the tool. And if we touch something, we will know all the areas that are connected. So then in our document, we can ahead specify where is going to be the change or where are the areas that we need to pair it or to make it consistent. So that's why, and we are aware of this situation, and we're going to change it. We want consistency as one of our principles for data visualizations and the user experience in data visualizations.
Here. And one thing we stole the question from one of our audience members in one of the last podcasts. What is your number one missing feature in Power BI?
The number one to me is having a canvas that allows users to create reports really quickly. And some of the main principles from the design side is alignment, separation, and margin. So if you have that well done, your report will look amazing even with less effort. But the problem is you need to align them, check the pixels between each one vertically, horizontally, the margin. It's so many elements that are quite tedious to always work on. It takes so much time, and many stakeholders think that it is not even worth spending that amount of time. The end result are reports that they don't look great, and sometimes Power BI takes that hit, and the final users think that Power BI is just looking ugly. But the reality is the report creators or authors are not taking enough time to do these things right. One of the things that I think is missing is why not designing a intelligent canvas that can give you that grid across all the page, and it can force you to have elements with the same separation, to have a margin that you cannot transpass, to have a section maybe that can be sticky. So if you have a long page and you want to scroll down, that area will stay still. It won't move. So then you can keep looking at important stuff. Like, there is a lot of canvas functionality that I think it will make report creators' jobs so much easier, and they will have to invest more time on the data visualization side and the business requirements than just designing reports and making them look great. I think we can give you the best defaults. We can give you a good style, and we can give you a canvas that works with you instead against you. And to me, is the part that is missing. So canvas functionality.
You're thinking even of those parallax canvas scrolling. That's great. So I got the question millions of times. When will Microsoft enable it? It's pretty much 20 years old technology, but hopefully it's coming now.
Yeah, I hope so.
One more question from Juan. Will the new card visual include an if blank configuration field?
Yes, one of the representatives gave me that 2 days ago. I didn't think about it, but she told me that was missing. I added it in the document. In 5 minutes, I have the final review with the other PMs, and that is included.
Perfect. And one more from our audience. Can we get design guides like you have in InDesign?
Yeah, by design, I think is what it means. Yes, I have a work that is in progress that is called, it's a website that is called By Design or BI Design. And in there, you're going to see all those practices. The reason that I stopped is because I was doing all this work for data visualization, and I really want to put a strategy in place with a lot of good methodologies, including the surveys that I launched a few months ago. So because I was investing so much time, I had to pause that. But the idea for me is to have a website where I just give you the latest. You can have all the good books, resources, methodologies, techniques, tips and tricks, everything in one single place about Power BI. When that's going to happen, I hope, depending my workload, that by March it will be live.
Nice.
When I hear all those things, so you will be pretty busy man throughout this year.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm doing with a lot of love, and I love what I do. So it's my hobby. It's not my job. It's my hobby.
That's great to hear, and I think throughout last few years, not a lot of significant changes came to Power BI visual part. So we had a lot of changes in engine, on service, a lot of new things in DAX, and this was a missing piece of puzzle, I think, and everybody is anxiously waiting in a community to try it and to roll it out to our clients. So we are all really appreciating your work.
And so do I. I am part of the report creator, so I am putting everything, and I'm just I cannot wait to try it out and use it.
Okay, cool. You mentioned you have something in 3 minutes, right? Some consultation or?
Yes, no, that's the critical step in the whole feature work, which is sending the document or presenting the document to all our PMs, and they will give the kickoff. They can reject the whole project, or they can say, green light, go ahead, and then I can work with designers and engineers. Without that meeting, the feature won't move forward, and that's going to happen in the next session.
Okay, then if Augustine agrees, we will give you a few minutes of your time back, and fingers crossed that you get the green light for the document.
I have the confidence. The community representatives, along with the designers and engineers, were helping me to put all that together. So I feel more than confident that everything is ready. Having the community is to me the best way to go.
And
Awesome.
then we basically wish you all the luck with that, and we'll be, I think our community will be your biggest advocates in this work you are doing. And I don't know, let's do session part 2 of this session a year from now and do a retrospective.
I like that idea. Let's do that.
Cool. Thank you very much, Miguel, for joining.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for everything you do. We appreciate it.
No, thank all of you, because without the work that you do, I won't be good to do mine.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. See ya.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.